even though it may not feel like it right now, we are getting an incredible opportunity in this market, especially with this 4-week sell-off that we have been seeing. I'm going to show you guys what ETFs, what stocks, how I'm deploying my capital right now in this extremely volatile market, guys. And also, if you drop a comment down below, you also get the full ebook that we'll be covering over in today's video that covers a lot of different asset classes that I'm putting my money in. And obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, guys. I'm just documenting my journey and what I'm investing my money in. But guys, let's just be real. It was a rough week out here, folks. It was. But the thing is, guys, it's creating a huge opportunity for us. Let's just be real. Big thing that happened, though. The biggest one of them all, and I didn't see, there was definitely some chatter about it, but this is a massive one, is that SPY has now crossed below its 200-day moving average, okay? So taking a look at just some key moving averages, obviously we closed at 648, 200-day moving average of 660. We have now blown below this, okay? Trading at 648. Next stop is the 300-day moving average. A lot of people have asked me, Pete, or do you think we're going to hit that? I do. I do actually think we're going to touch the 300-day moving average, and I'm not too worried about it though, okay? Now, if you are picking individual stocks right now, there is a lot more elevated risk. Where I'm kind of moving a lot more money around is into a couple different ETFs that I'm focusing in on. So let's kind of dive in. I want to show you guys at least what I'm focusing in on. All right. So these are boring, right? But I'm going to be taking advantage of this buy the dip opportunity as a form of accumulation. If you've watched some of my videos over the past week, I've been talking a lot about SPY and QQQ, right? And a lot of income focused ETFs. That's where I'm parking a lot of cash, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. But a lot of this stuff I did not cover, and I want to quickly show you guys because this is kind of my structure, at least for my Roth side, of how I've structured my Vanguard funds. And I buy every single week. I don't do the lump sum thing. I know there's arguments to be had, and I'm glad I didn't do the lump sum at the start of the year, right? Because now I'm going to take advantage of it. So basically, whatever it comes out to, like $153 a week that you can invest in a Roth IRA to max out your contributions. Basically, every Monday I buy my buy and holds. Every single week I'm buying the stuff that I'm sharing with you right now for the most part, unless I asterisk it and tell you otherwise. This is what I do on a weekly basis. So every Monday, I'm buying, the bulk is VTI, about $80 of the 150 roughly. I'm buying primarily VTI. And this is basically, owning every large publicly traded US company, right? You got large cap, mid cap, you got small cap funds in here. And this is really giving me the broadest exposure possible in the US economy, and obviously a very, very low cost. I personally like VTI. I do have a SEP IRA as well. I'm not going to talk about that much in this video, where I do my VU and chill kind of thing, where it's like a couple, like $500 a month, and just goes into a VU fund. I don't touch it. I don't care about it. Same with 401k, goes right in. Contributions happen. I don't care. I literally don't even count that. That's like it's so out of my, I don't actively mess with that stuff at all. It's just like set, forget, and whatever, right? But the stuff I'm talking about today is a little bit more in depth, okay, that I actually do. Next one obviously is VXUS. If you guys don't know that, right, this covers, basically gives me exposure to everything outside of the USA, Europe, Asia, obviously emerging markets as well. And this just gives me that diversification, right? You're going to see that, I believe, and comment below. I am always here to learn as well. I learned so much from you guys in our whole community. I don't know everything, and I'm here to learn myself. So if you're saying, hey, Pete, you're missing something out in your Vanguard portfolio, let me know. I would love to hear it. But these 5 funds is what I'm doing every single week, right? Obviously, international gives me that international exposure. My next one is VIG. Okay, this one's slightly, I guess, controversial. This gives me that dividend appreciation, all right? And these are basically companies that have basically grown their dividends over the last 10 years. You guys know, as a dividend investor, somebody that likes selling options, generating income, and kind of being that income investor, I do like to layer a little bit here. Now, again, a bulk of my capital does go into VTI and then VXUS, and then the rest I kind of spread across the next 3 that I share with you. Okay, but VIG, I like this. It's kind of, it gives me that gives me that income that I want from a dividend perspective. Allows me to kind of grow it a little bit faster, and I just love dividends personally as well. And then they're also screened, so similar to like an SCHD, right? They're not just, who gives us the best yield. That's not how it works, right? There's a strict screening process that these dividend ETFs go through to qualify for. All right, so VIG, obviously. Next one is VYM. I know, another high yield dividend ETF, but this one is a little bit more aggressive. That's why this is not a large play for me. The VYM or not, but these are giving me a little bit more of a higher yield. Okay, they're usually above average dividends. Obviously, giving me more income today versus VIG, which prioritizes dividend growth over time. But I like having a mixture of them both, and then I do reinvest all of these dividends back into the same ETF as well. Just FYI. And then my last one is VPU. Not often talked about, but I've always put a little bit of money in VPU because it's basically it's literally a utility. It's not basic. It's a utility ETF. And my reasoning for this is, let's say a recession, whatever happens, like any crazy madness in the world that happens, no, we always are going to need utilities, right? This thing doesn't move that crazy, obviously, but it's like a safe haven, right? And that's when I structured this Vanguard portfolio for myself. That's kind of how I thought through this, and I felt like this. And again, I would love to hear in the comments, am I wrong? And if you drop that comment down below, I'll also give you this full ebook as well. And if you're enjoying this sort of content so far, obviously hitting the like button and subscribe button is appreciated. But this obviously electric, gas, water, big defensive play in the portfolio here. But those are the five. Those are the big five Vanguard funds that I'm primarily investing in my Roth IRA every single Monday morning. Basically, I literally go in there, I distribute it. I like to do it manually, personally. I just do. I do. That's me. I don't know if that's just me, but it is. All right. Next one. All right. We quickly just talk about it. SPY, QQQ. Every single week, I'm buying basically a couple $100 worth of SPY and QQ. More these past 2 weeks, I basically been buying SPY and QQQ. Oh man, and SCHD. I was like, I don't think I have this in here. So basically, SPY and QQQ, I'm buying every single week. SPY obviously tracks the S&P 500, QQQ, Nasdaq, right? And the reason I picked SPY and QQQ because I have a plan. If you wouldn't, look, the reason I'm doing SPY and QQQ might not be the reason you would want to do it. I'm doing SPY and QQQ because in the future, I want to be able to sell very far out of the money covered calls to generate weekly income. I've showed this a bunch on this channel. Let me quickly show you what I mean. So let's say like 10 years from now, I've accumulated thousands upon thousands of shares of SPY and QQQ. Basically, I want to be able to come here. I want to sell a call every single week, or let's just say every like 2 weeks or whatever, just about. Let's see, can we populate something here? And then I'm basically going to be saying I'm willing to sell my 100 shares of SPY for a certain price, but I'm going to go so far out of the money, right? Like I'll be like, collecting very little premium, like return on collateral wise, but I'll be collecting some premium. So for example, if I like did the, let's just look at a rounder number, 675, I'd collect $200 of premium income for one contract here, which one contract is equal to 100 shares. So more on that in the Ark Options workshop. If you want to learn more about selling options, the wheel strategy, how I plan to generate income during my retirement, and am generating income now from individual stocks and these ETFs, click the first link in the description. You'll get all these premium calculators and all these free resources that I'm talking about. That'll be the first link. But that's my plan. See, most people that invest in SPY and QQQ, if you're just a buyer and holder, it doesn't really make sense because you have to deal with their high nominal, but it's still a little bit of a higher expense ratio. There are better options, pun intended, than SPY and QQQ out there. If you're just a buy and holder, right? You could just like do the VU and chill thing, right? There's tons of other, ETFs that you can invest in. But for me, I have a plan with this. Okay. I literally have a plan, right? And you should probably have a plan as well, unless you just are a buy and holder, which is perfectly fine. That's still a plan. That's your buy and hold. Just don't stop buying and holding, right? That's the big, the compounding effect of this. So SPY, QQQ, big ones for me for future income generation during my retirement, for my retirement income. Right now, I'm not selling any calls or anything against my shares. I'm simply just in accumulation phase, especially where we're at right now. I mean, let's just be real. SPY can recover in a matter of a couple days. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Next big one for me is SCHD. So I am also now buying $100 about worth of SCHD, a little bit more every single week, right? So every single Monday as well. I'm literally buying all this again, a little bit more this week because of the dip. I'm going to take advantage of bigger dips. SCHD, not so much dips recently, but the reason I like these, again, high, they're basically the highest quality dividend paying stocks, right? They're just not these high yielders, right? So the reason a lot of people love to invest in SCHD they think they can retire off SCHD, but it's ridiculous. I think that's absolutely ridiculous that for you to think that you will make enough income that you'll literally make like 50 grand a year off like a $2 million port. Like that's insane, right? It's still nice, don't get me wrong, but you need to have a plan, right? So for me with SCHD, I'm accumulating, I'm getting dividends, I'm compounding that growth, I'm snowballing it, but I'm also going to layer on my my covered calls as well on top of my SCHD. That way I'm kind of getting two dividends every single month on the same shares. But I do love this. I'm a very big dividend investor, guys. You know I love dividends. I love selling options. I love kind of being that income investor. So the SCHD, I think that's a foundation for anybody's portfolio that wants to be able to generate income and not hurt their principal in the future, right? So my hope is obviously to have tens of millions of dollars by the time I retire, that none of this is really honestly going to matter at that point for me, because I'll be able to make enough passive income, a couple $100,000 a year, we'll be very, very happy with, okay? But I never want to touch my actual shares, right? I don't ever want to touch my principal. I never want to extract my principal, like that whole 4% rule. My goal, who knows if it's going to happen, stay tuned. Stay tuned for 40 years from now. I never want to touch that principal, right? Because that's going to be the stuff I leave to my kids. Charitable contributions, part of the 100 Contract Club mission to donate 1 million Bibles in the next 10 years, right? So there's all these other things I still want to do. Obviously, that money, unfortunately, allows us to do. That's the reality, guys, right? So the next two, a little bit more riskier, but I do love them, and that is JEPI and JEPQ. So a lot been talking about them recently, a lot. JEPI and JEPQ, these are primarily going to be my income-focused ETFs. Income ETFs. These are higher risk, but higher yields. Around both of these, around 7 to 11% dividend that I'm getting from them. How are they generating that yield? To pay us monthly, right? They pay us monthly, not quarterly. They're distributed monthly, and these are given to us basically because they're selling covered calls. They're literally doing the same strategy that I talk about here on the channel, right? So a lot of people are like, covered calls don't work. Literally, these funds that manage billions upon billions upon billions of dollars do it. So please stop your nonsense, okay? But risk, right? Covered calls cap your upside. So just buying and holding JEPI or JEPQ, you are not going to beat SPY. You're not, because you are capping your upside. There's a lot more risks that go into a JEPI and JEPQ, but you don't know that because a lot of people are sold by this 11% annual yield, and you're going in with no plan. See, my plan is a little bit different than most people's. I'm not just holding JEPQ just to make an 11% dividend. I want to sell covered calls against it, so I'm stacking additional premium on top of their monthly income, right? So that's what I'm doing, right? So those are my two income ETF plays as well that I've been stacking. And this right here has kind of been the big foundation for me, especially for the last really month. This is where I've been really focusing pretty much all of my capital that I have towards these plays. Next, gold and Bitcoin. Yes, I do buy physical gold. I like physical gold, and I do buy a little bit of Bitcoin. Very small amounts of both, right? These are gold for me is more of like a hobby. My father really was into coin collecting and stuff like that. So that kind of hobby passed on to me a little bit. I really like numismatics. I enjoy that kind of stuff. I don't talk about it a lot on this channel. If you'd want to learn more about gold and like collecting, I love talking about that stuff too. All right. So, and it's cool that there's actual value in those coins as well. So I do enjoy, stacking, they call it. I do like coin collecting as well, where there's more extrinsic value than intrinsic value, meaning there's, a lot of people make the mistake with gold that they'll just go like on eBay and like buy some gold, but they have no idea what they're actually buying. I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you finding a local coin shop that you can actually, get some good deals with. Like for example, like when I go buy gold, there's a local coin shop near me that will literally give a coin. Their business model is literally at spot. Like they'll give you a gold eagle at spot, which is kind of crazy when you compare it like to other, and I'll call multiple places around me, and it's insane, right? So find like a good one that you could build a relationship. That way you're getting some better deals. Buying even a 10th ounce of gold, here and there, I believe stacks over time. I've always had such a strong belief in gold, maybe because it's written about in the Bible so many times. But I always like to buy a little bit of gold as much as I can on a monthly basis. And then very, very speculative, obviously a little bit of Bitcoin, but during this dip, I have been buying a little bit of Bitcoin as well, because I always say I'm going to do it again. But then I don't. But I did end up like years ago, or not years ago. I mean, maybe at this point, years ago, when Bitcoin first hit 100K, I got out of everything at that point. Glad I kind of did. I've been in the crypto space for a while. I'm the kind of dummy that got into the whole BitConnect thing, into the Celsius thing. See, guys, this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? Like, I make a lot of stupid ass mistakes myself, right? So I fall for the high yield trap. And this is why now I have like a very strict principles that I follow with my investment strategy, that I'm not deteriorate. You will not be able to get me out of it, right? You will not be able to move me. I believe now boring scales. We know boring scales. A lot of you will say in the channel, Pete, you talk about the same thing every day. Yes, and I will continue to do so because I believe discipline, right, patience are critical factors to investment success and success in anything that you want in life. And I have fallen for so many stupid things that are promising me a ton of money, and I end up losing a whole bunch of money, okay? And that's not where I want to be, especially when I'm parking my capital somewhere. But we all kind of have to live through those kind of mistakes. Lastly is individual stocks, right? I still do individual stocks, right? Smaller sizing though right now, right? Some of my bigger plays right now that I'm still working through. I've got covered calls on Kraft Heinz. I got covered calls in on Snapchat, got puts in on SoFi, got puts in on American Airlines, right? So there's still some of these stocks that I'm still picking out, but I've been really more focused in on ETFs, right? I've been really focusing on ETFs and accumulation during this phase, at least in my life. So if you want to learn more about this, guys, and get a bunch of free resources, especially how to generate income from your stocks, whether you want to sell them or not, right? But how to treat them really as an asset that can actually generate you income from the markets, I want to invite you to the Ark Options Strategy Workshop. It'll be the first link in the description of today's video. At the end of it, I'll give you this trade log template for free and my 2 premium calculators that make your life a little bit easier, and I quite literally use them every single day. That's it for today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.